Hello everyone, welcome to Writing for Online Media. This is an online course which you can access at fordham.blackboard.com. Hopefully you've had a chance to log in and explore Blackboard a bit. I'll navigate you through some of its features as we go along. This current presentation is the first of the series for this semester. Hopefully you've had a chance to download our class syllabus. If you haven't, please do so. Throughout the semester, if you have any questions about any of my presentations, please don't hesitate to ask. And please refer to the presentation by name, in this case, Introduction and Overview. And refer to the slide number, which you'll find at the lower right-hand corner of the slide you're discussing. So right here. I'm sure you're anxious to get started, so here we go. My name is Nick Leshy, and I'll be your instructor this semester. I was born and raised in the Bronx, so that explains my accent. I've tried to shed it over the years, but it continues to rear its ugly head. If you have any difficulty understanding anything I say, again, don't be afraid to ask me to clarify. You can start a new thread for anything you wish to talk about on our discussions link on Blackboard, so that your fellow classmates can also jump in and join the conversation. If, however, you just want to speak with me directly, the quickest way to contact me is by email. Send me a note to nickleshy@aol.com. That's nickleshy@aol.com. Or you can call me on my cell phone at 917-570-2530. That's 917-570-2530. Just leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as possible. Even though we can't meet face-to-face, I'll be happy to assist with your work if you have any difficulties. I can even schedule a Skype video conference if you'll find that helpful. A little bit about me: I earned both my bachelor's degree and my master's degree at Fordham University. My background includes work as an actor and a writer. I've written articles that have been published in newspapers and magazines. I've written stage plays and screenplays, and I've written an ongoing daily pop culture blog that's been a top download on Amazon.com. And I'm a frequent Salon editor's pick and cover story. I look forward to getting to know each of you. You should be receiving my announcements for the class via email, so make sure that you're using an active email account, one that you check frequently. And make sure that you log on to fordham.blackboard.com to access the material for this class. So what is Writing for Online Media anyway? What attracted you to this class when you saw that title? What are some of your expectations that led you to register for it? No matter what your career objectives might be, odds are that your professional writing life will involve some form of writing. Almost every business and organization has some sort of online presence. Rare is the individual who has absolutely no online footprint. The goal of this class is to teach you an effective way to communicate with an audience online. Let's take a look at what the title of this course actually means. This class won't focus on computer code, it will focus on writing. So what exactly is writing? A dictionary definition is a good starting point. Here are 4 definitions. The first 2 look at how we write, and the second 2 look at the purpose of writing. Number 1, the physical action of writing by using tools. Taking a writing implement and putting some kind of symbolic characters on a writing surface, such as paint on a wall, a stylus on clay, ink on paper, or digital characters on a screen. So that's that first definition: to trace or form characters, words, etc. with a pen, pencil, computer, or other instrument or means. The second definition, the means of conveying ideas through written form, written words. So number 2, to express ideas or record concepts via inscribed characters, words, etc. The third definition is the creation of stories that are fact or fiction in a voice that the author chooses. So that means to communicate by letter. Number 4, the process of recording information to be read later, to compose as an author, to save into a secondary storage device or output medium. So those are the definitions. Reading and literacy is the flip side, being able to decipher, understand, comprehend, and retain what is being written. It's a two-way street. We don't write in a void. We write so that our words can be seen, read, and understood. So for this class, we're specifically examining online writing. So what does online mean? Again, let's look at a basic dictionary description. Number one, with or through a computer, especially over a network. This is general, a network through an electronic device. Number two, of or relating to the internet, which is a vast computer network linking smaller computer networks worldwide. This is specific. It's content through the World Wide Web. So the internet as we know it today is accessible through URL addresses. URL stands for Uniform or Universal Resource Locator. It's the address of a worldwide web page. That's what transports us to those online sites that we access through desktop computers, laptop computers, tablets, smartphones, smart TVs, etc. Online content has fast dominated the media landscape. So that brings us to the third major word in our class title. What does media mean? First, we need to remember that the word media is plural. The singular version is medium. When we talk about only one, it's a medium. When we talk about more than one, we're talking about media. Media are, number one, the means of communication that reach or influence people. Number two, they're the instruments of communication. Number three, they're a means of transmission, such as print or electronic. So examples include print, such as newspapers, magazines, and books, and electronic, radio, television, film, computers, smartphones. We shall see that characteristics of all the major forms of communication in the past are present in some form in online media. It'll be important for the purposes of this class to look at the history of media and communication to see how we've reached this point. We learned to communicate with each other through body language and the spoken word. Back then, we communicated person to person or person to persons. We could only share our ideas or ask our questions to people in our proximity, folks who were nearby who could hear us speak. Maybe we could reach a few hundred people if we spoke in a forum with good acoustics, or on a hilltop where our voices could carry. But there was a finite number that our voices could reach in real time. So our ancestors in the oral culture depended on rhetorical tricks to make their words remembered by their audience, so that it could be shared and passed on orally from generation to generation. Then writing made it easier to record those messages, and we as a species were no longer hindered by space or time when we wanted to share a message. Then in more recent centuries, we had an information explosion as mass media emerged that allowed us to spread our message not just to a few, not just to hundreds, not just to thousands, but to millions, to practically everyone all over the world. And those messages could outlive the original messenger. Print, radio, television, and film are all mass media that allowed the distribution of content to broader audiences. These mass media are what we typically refer to as traditional media. It was basically one-way communication. The gatekeepers of these mass media published to us and broadcast to us. The people were for the most part passive audiences, silent recipients of these prefabricated messages. A shift came about with the emergence of so-called new media, the label that was placed on online content, as the masses now had tools that allowed them to receive and respond to messages more quickly, more effectively, and more personally. As new media evolved at lightning speed, audiences began to create their own content that often rivaled the content of the traditional media. Suddenly, society went from unidirectional mass media, that means one-way mass media, to participatory media, where viewers and readers began creating their own media content. User-generated content began to be taken seriously. So what are some examples of this type of new online media? Now here's a list of some of the many facets of media within the broader umbrella of new media or online media. Websites, podcasts, blogs, social networks, message boards, online forums, chat rooms, image galleries, video portals, wikis. We'll be looking at most of these throughout our semester. One of the key forms will be blogs. A key part of this course will be to create our own individual blogs. But what are blogs? Again, let's take a look at some dictionary definitions. A blog is short for weblog. It's an online journal or diary written by an individual, a group, or a corporation. It's made available to other people via the internet. Many allow readers to leave messages, comments, and to link to other blogs and sites. It's also used as a verb, to blog. The word blogger is someone who blogs. It's also the name of Google's blogging platform. The blogosphere is the online community of blogs. We'll talk more about blogs in my next presentation. For now, let's take an overview look at the specifics of this class, Writing for Online Media. There are two descriptions of the course, one from the original catalog listing and the other from our syllabus. From the catalog, it says, this course is a study of the exploration of the theory and practice of electronic writing, nonlinear and multidimensional computer-based documents, and the linking and networking of text and other media. As we go along throughout the semester, we'll look at each one of those examples, those descriptions, and we'll talk more in depth about them. So from my syllabus, which I hope you've all downloaded, here's the description. From websites to weblogs, wikis to social media, the internet continues to evolve and offer opportunities for communicators in various fields. Students will create their own blogs. They'll learn about cyber journalism. They'll apply their writing skills toward business, politics, art, or personal expression, and they'll explore how marketing, public relations, web design, and other factors impact writing style in new media. So hopefully that sums up exactly what we'll be discussing this semester. Let's look at our syllabus. Here are the specific goals and objectives for this class. This is what we'll be aiming to accomplish this semester. The first objective: explore the written word in the contemporary online media environment from practical, historical, theoretical, and critical analytical perspectives. So practical means hands-on experience creating content online. Historical means looking at the development of writing over time. Theoretical means exploring some of the various theories and opinions about the role of reading and writing online. And critical analysis means applying and testing our own hypotheses, our own critiques that we develop through our own analytical perspectives. The second objective: develop specific skills and techniques for online writing and improve writing skills in general. Some of you might be better writers than others. Some of you may already have some experience writing online. We will be measured not on where we begin, but where we finish. Each of you will hopefully discover your strengths so you can continue to make them even stronger, and discover your weaknesses so you can work to eventually eliminate them. The third objective: produce an individual blog that could be part of an online portfolio. I hope that what we create in this class can be something that you'll find helpful on many levels, both personal and professional. Our required text for the semester will be blogging. It's part of the Digital Media and Society series, and it's by Jill Walker-Redberg. We'll be using the first edition published in 2008 by Polity Press. The weekly reading assignments are listed in our class syllabus, and we'll have discussions about them on BlackBoard. This is what BlackBoard looks like. When you visit fordham.blackboard.com, after you log in, after you click our class link, which is Writing for Online Media, course number COMM 2527-W01. That's our course number. This is the home page that you'll see. In addition to being emailed to you, all my announcements will be here. If you're not receiving the announcements by email, please let me know. On the left, on this side, you'll see maroon-colored tabs for each of the sections. Click Orientation, which is right here, the second tab, and you'll see a link for the class syllabus. Please download that if you haven't already. In Orientation, click Writing for Online Media, and you'll see my introductory video. I recommend that you run the computer test at the bottom of the orientation page. It's under the heading Technology, Resources, and Services. It'll test your computer to make sure it's up to date on the most current versions of Adobe, Media Player, and so on, so you can view all the material on Blackboard without a hitch. The other important tabs on our home page are the Discussions tab, which is the third one here on the left. And that's where we'll be having our classroom dialogue. Please visit it and post an introduction in the Orientation Introductions thread. And the Class Wiki tab, which is right here, which I'll be discussing in more detail in one of my next presentations. Play around with Blackboard this week to become more comfortable with it. If you have any questions, please let me know. In addition to the required Jill Walker-Redberg text, I've listed in the syllabus timeline a number of additional readings that we'll do. This online articles are linked on our Readings tab, which is right here, number 5. I'll send reminders when I can. Here are some books that are not required, but you might want to check out the next time you're at the library. They might give you some additional thoughts to ponder. The first one is The Shallows: What Internet is Doing to Our Brains by Nicholas Carr. The second is Say Everything: How Blogging Began, What It's Becoming, and Why It Matters by Scott Rosenberg. The third is Blogging Heroes: Interviews with 30 of the world's top bloggers, and it's edited by Michael A. Banks. The Huffington Post Complete Guide to Blogging is an anthology of celebrity-written essays about cyberjournalism with an introduction by Arianna Huffington. Blogging America: The New Public Sphere by Aaron Barlow. It looks at how nonprofit organizations are using new media to spread their message and engage their communities. Blogging America: Political Discourse in a Digital Nation is by Barbara O'Brien. It looks at how new media is impacting politics and government. Clear Blogging: How People Blogging Are Changing the World and How You Can Join Them is by Bob Walsh. It's really an effective book to look at if you're interested in things like Arab Spring and how folks overseas really made an impact on their lives through blogging when traditional media were not covering it or couldn't cover it as effectively. This is an old book but still has some interesting information. It's called The Weblog Handbook: Practical Advice on Creating and Maintaining Your Blog by Rebecca Blood. And finally, Writing Space: Computers, Hypertext, and the Remediation of Print by J. David Bolter. All of these books are books that I'm using in my preparations for these presentations. You're not required to get them, but as I said, if you're interested in doing some further research as you're working on your final paper and things like that, you're certainly welcome to rent them out from the library, borrow them, and I think you'd find some really interesting things there. Now let's look at the specific work you'll be doing this semester. First, create and maintain your own blog, posting a minimum of 1 entry per week. My next presentation will walk you through the process of starting a blog. Additional writing, including submitting a mission statement for your blog, participating in the class wiki, adding comments on classmates' blogs, contributing to the weekly discussions threads, and so on. One of my next presentations will walk you through the details of the mission statement and the class wiki. A midterm paper. Short reviews of your classmates' blogs will be due by October 16. We'll go over the details as the date approaches. Online writing guest post project. Write a post for someone else's blog or website before November 13. As creators of your own blogs, you'll be your own writers and editors, so it's important to learn about writing for someone else to fit their voice and direction. You'll pick someone else's website or blog and write a post for them. Again, I'll give you more direction as the date approaches. Online attendance at your own schedule per the assignment's deadlines, and participation, doing the work on time. So it'll be difficult to really give you a grade for attendance when it's an online course, but hopefully you'll be doing the assignments by the deadlines, and that's how I'll be able to grade you. And by participation, do it all on time, join in the dialogue, join in the conversation online, and that's how I'll be able to ascertain how you're participating. And finally, the final paper. It'll be about your experience as an online writer and your thoughts on the future of online writing, and it'll be due on or before December 11th. And again, I'll give you more information about that as the date approaches. So those are the requirements for the course, and the syllabus gives you a breakdown of how I'll be evaluating it in terms of percentage for each of the sections. If you have any questions, just let me know. Here's a summary of what each grade means according to Fordham's guidelines. So an A is 4.0, and that means excellent, honors level work. An A- means still excellent. A B+ is very good, high level of performance. A B is good, solid, above average performance. A B- is good, still above average. A C+ is average level of performance. A C is satisfactory, acceptable performance. A C- is minimally acceptable. A D is passing but unsatisfactory. And an F is failure, inferior performance. There's no reason why all of you should not be able to get an A in this course. Regarding getting an F, I think the only way to get that is if you don't do the work. So if you have any questions on that, just please let me know. So there you have it. That's an introduction and overview of what our class, Writing for Online Media, is all about. Please share any comments or questions you might have on our discussion board at fordham.blackboard.com. Thanks so much, and looking forward to chatting with you.